Tell me, is there anything more deliciously thrilling than cracking open a brand new journal in the middle of the year? Something about it feels like stepping through a hidden door unexpectedly, a little rebellious and filled with possibilities. This time, I'm diving into a romantic journal from Archer and Olive's 2024 fall subscription box, and I truly believe that this is my most beautiful journal that I have ever owned. Bound in soft vegan leather with elegant gold gilding along the edges, this journal contains 192 pages of 160 GSM perfection. To start, we are making 10 handmade tabs, tiny portals to each section of the journal. I trimmed off the first 2 dot grid spaces and used a 1 boxed width for each tab, but it's the kind of task that makes you question everything that you're doing. But trust me, it will make sense visually, and it will be so worth it. Some of the tabs didn't quite line up due to some of the journal leaves not sitting correctly, but we'll fix those as we go. Let's talk about the heart of this spread, Eevee, that sweet little fluffy wonder from the Pokemon's universe who represents adaptability, evolution, and endless potential. And how perfect is that for the Midyear journal theme? I've always wanted to do a Pokemon theme, but I could never quite figure out how. We begin with Eevee herself, a normal type Pokemon, but she is the star of the show. Her spread shimmers with a soft silver rainbow palette to match her neutral, potential-packed nature. Plus, these colors tie in with the font stickers I printed out with my Cricut throughout most of the spread, so it's all going to be super cute and cohesive. These bubble stickers are some of the prettiest I've ever seen, perfect for Vaporeon, her graceful water evolution. And I actually got these on Journal Say. By the way, all the items you see in today's video will be linked down below. Vaporeon's page features a dreamy painting from my Pokemon 151 collection. It's filled with blues and summer tones and exactly the mood I wanted for the month of July. Summer is a bit of a tough season for me. I often find myself in a bit of a funk, but something about this bubbly, cute photo of Eevee and Vaporeon, it reminds me to play, explore, and maybe dip my toes into some cool silvery lakes, and to remind myself to let go of that funky mood. And then added thin blue washi to frame the tab, tying it to Vaporeon's water element. Next up is Jolteon, who guards my spark list. A glorified brain dump of a stray task and thought. They're not quite goals, but not forgettable either. A spark list is where thoughts can go to rest until I'm ready to act. Like organize the garage or clean out your chaos drawer. Unlike goals, which are more time-based and actionable, spark lists just exist, waiting to be sparked when I'm ready. Then we evolve into Flareon, the fire type who inspires goals. This is where my goal page lives, a list of focused intentions for the months ahead. Honestly, I wasn't in my best creative mood when I started this, so for now, I kept things super simple. Sometimes that's all you need, but I decided to add embellishments later, but I forgot to record it, but you'll be able to see what I did through the final flip through. The following setup is by far my favorite. Something about the Neo series Pokemon was the most nostalgic for me. and Umbreon quickly became my favorite Eeveelution. And since my habit trackers are what I see every day, I really needed this to spark joy. The grid spacing is 39 spaces long and 16 spaces in height, and that's including a space for each day of the month on top, making each box 2 spaces wide and 3 spaces tall. So the photo I had here was a bit wide for the actual decorating space I had available, so I cut it in half and put them in opposite corners, making this more of a asymmetrical kind of look, but I think it turned out really adorable. These magical stickers are so cute with the violet bits and baubles, such as a satchel filled with crystals, and this other set that had the most beautiful moths and butterflies. I originally thought that these were just cutouts from cardstock, but they're actually stickers. I've never experienced stickers like this before due to their detail and paper feel. Plus, it was really hard to peel off the sticker backing, so I just ended up taping them down to make it a little easier on myself. I'm also using a Tombow Violet brush pen in 620 to highlight the days of the month, and I went over it a couple of times just to really make that violet pop. And of course, we can never forget black sparkly washi tape to capture that little bit of magical whimsy. I realized watching this back that I didn't really change my layouts. But I do have some ideas for the month of August, so stay tuned for that. Here I'm using the same Tombow in 620 to draw out the calendar for my YouTube setup. To be honest, this never changes, but it's really necessary for content creators such as myself. But you can also use this to keep track of your meetings for work, when homework is due, and even wedding planning, because I'm sure there's a lot to keep track of for that. Since Umbreon is my favorite Pokemon, and the fact that I have to see this page a lot, I thought it was a perfect place to add this really spooky picture. This shiny Umbreon is sitting in a candlelit cemetery, making this the perfect opportunity to use this celestial washi tape that I got from a flea market, believe it or not. It has many little gilded stars that tie in with the candlelight and night sky. Speaking of moody, I also have these spooky but beautiful lanterns, dark peonies, and a starry bow sticker completing this spooky but beautiful spread. Let's start with the weeklies. Here is a beautiful photo of Espeon, our sidekick Eeveelution. And since the week starts on a Tuesday, I was able to make her picture a little bit bigger. I'm dividing the right page into 4 sections, keeping the left page for the first day of July. I put the picture on the right intentionally to give myself a little more room for Tuesday, while also giving more room for this inky PET tape to shine. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of journalers use these inky tapes for months, and now I see what the hype is. These are gorgeous. And speaking of beautiful things, these ink drop stickers with the gold are my new favorite, so much so that I stocked up before they disappear on Journal Say, because I never want to run out. And since I felt like this was lacking something, I just added these inky wonders here and there, along with some stars and highlights. Let's evolve Eevee into my favorite Eeveelution, Umbreon. This is more of a complicated setup due to these little square cutouts I made. Originally, I wanted to use the heck out of this PET tape as well, but found that there wasn't enough space for everything. So I just cut out a few of the moons and clouds to decorate the week while still managing to keep everything usable, because that's kind of important. I used Tombo's N95 in light gray for highlights, and one of Archer and Olive's gel pens in light gray for the days of the week on the black grid paper. Oh, and to finish it off, I added this sparkly gray washi tape to frame the sides. Umbreon is the dark evolution for Eevee, making this my favorite Eeveelution of all time. The next week clashes with Umbreon. However, Eevee evolves into a grass type known as Glaceon. I didn't really have a lot of green stationery, but I was able to find this jasmine flower washi tape at Michael's. Thank you, Michael's. And I thought it was actually really cute and fitting for Glaceon's week. I used the stickers for the days of the week that I had made originally, and I found some green washi for the backing of the days of the week. And to top it off, I used a jade green Tombow highlight in 243. I really like these kind of setups because it's super flowy and it leaves lots of room to write. Oh, and of course we need to add more Inky Wonder stickers and stars to finish up this jungly theme. The following week is surprisingly one of my favorites due to her icy hues and sparkly translucent washi. Glaceon is the ice type for Eevee's icy evolution. I found this massive PET tape on Journal Say, and I had to cut it in half because I think it's about 2.5 inches wide. Here I decided to create the same layout for Glaceon as Leafeon, but I used Tombow's 451 in light blue to highlight and create all the boxes for the days of the week. One very enchanting piece here is this white translucent sparkle washi. I didn't realize I would be able to see other colors shine through, but that's what made this layout so gorgeous. I'm also placing some snowflake stickers here and there to really add to that icy feel I wanted, and I'm so happy with how this turned out. Now for the final week. Sylveon is the fairy type evolution, and she is by far one of the most popular Pokemon out there. This spread was inspired by Sylveon V's alternate art card and my secret dream of one day owning a cozy little magical bakery. I guess that's not a secret anymore. I decided to use this inky tape to spruce things up. Even though it doesn't have just pink, I thought it tied in pretty well. Then using Tombow's 761 in light pink to not only highlight but create the days of the week. I also included this coral pink washi tape to frame the entire spread and to complete the final week of July. And there you have it, Pokemon Masters, our mid-year Pokemon-themed journaling adventure. I have been so excited to set this up for months now, and I am so giddy with how this turned out. We're nearly at 500 subscribers, and I'm genuinely so grateful that you enjoy these cozy creative journeys. If you'd like to explore more monthly themes, check out this playlist, and don't forget to leave a comment letting me know which Eeveelution is your favorite. Until next time, Pokemon Masters, stay inspired, stay magical, and I'll see you in the near future.